The next game that we have, and you've already alluded to it a little bit with a potential controversial call. I didn't see it very controversial, but the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Cincinnati Bengals. The Cincinnati Bengals, once again, I think that this is the fifth time in the last 6 years or fourth time in the last 5 years they've started out 0-2. Um, just traditionally slow starting, but you know what? In this game, they played well enough to win. I really thought they were in good position to win this ball game. Um, they had the opportunity, they had the ball and the ability to drive, and the Kansas City Chiefs came up with a big stop and got the ball back, and they got the ball back in more than enough time for Mahomes to move Butker into position to kick the game-winning field goal. Um, this was a ball game that was back and forth. Two great teams, I think, two teams that are playoff teams. So neither one of these teams really went down in my eyes, so to speak. Kansas City being a playoff team that could win a ball game or two in the playoffs, and KC, with another shot at another Super Bowl run. I still think both teams are in that position. So with that, what do you have to say about this one, and what the code have to say?
So this is one we the under. Um, Ended up dropping late because of the Joe Burrow fumble. He doesn't fumble, we cash our ticket fairly easily. Um, and he had some big plays. Mahomes had a couple bad picks.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then the Burrow fumbles would kind of cost us there. I definitely think we were on the right side of that bet. If that game popped up again, I would bet the exact same thing again. Um, we also slightly leaned the Chiefs in this one, mainly because again, just waiting on Cincinnati to to kind of show up. They always start slow. Um, and they actually looked. I thought Burrow looked as good as he's looked all year. Um, I thought this was, and statistically it was. I thought this was one of Mahomes' worst games he's played as a starting quarterback. Like I said, a couple bad picks, and I believe the 151 yards was his lowest, at least in like a normal game. Something to watch out for with the Chiefs, though, is Pacheco. Um,
Yeah. Pacheco, I'm hearing, is out for quite a few games, if not potentially being the season.
Yeah, I know he's going on IR. I don't know if it'll be the year. Um, I haven't seen anything, but I know he's down for a minute, and he's a big part of this team
Oh
because he
yeah.
allows them to run the ball. He's a very hard, tough runner, picks up tough
Hmm.
yards, and now it's just going to put everything on Mahomes' shoulders. Which, I mean, we don't bet futures. I know I jokingly said to you that I was going to throw some pizza money on a Mahomes MVP after watching them in Week One. You may have to get that because he's going to have to air the ball out, but at some point Travis Kelsey's gonna have to show up. Like he's been non-existent for 2 weeks.
Yep. Yep. Either teams are taking him away. Or yeah, he just isn't we're not seeing the production out of him yet, but they've got two victories. I still think Andy Reid does a heck of a job scheming things up. He's always been one of who I consider the the top of the line coach in the NFL, and part of that might be by design. They need the big fella to be around at the end of the year and to make big plays in the playoffs. So to give him a little bit of rest here at the beginning of the year and to not utilize him as much might be just exactly what is going on in Kansas City. Uh, but congratulations to the Chiefs, another W. And like I said, I think we'll see a lot from each of these teams moving on into the playoffs.